Arkansas versus Little Rock women's basketball. The 13th rated Razorbacks 7-1. Trojans coming in 4-2 after back-to-back wins, and we have Joe Foley is with us right now. He is in his 18th year as the head coach of Little Rock women's basketball, and of course before that had a very successful tenure at Arkansas Tech. Fo, I'm bummed I can't come down to the floor tomorrow and visit with you and the rest of your staff. You've got pretty much the same staff that I worked with when I was the broadcaster for your team, so this is it for us. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, and yeah, I'd love to visit with you. It's been a while since I've got to talk to you. I hadn't got to catch up with you in a while.
It's been since last year when Arkansas came to visit at Simmons Bank Arena, and I know last year was a different year than Little Rock women's basketball had experienced, the first losing season in 15 years. But it looks like things are a little bit better right now coming into the second matchup in 2 years with Arkansas. Tell me about your team, and is this the sort of team that plays the kind of lockdown man-to-man defense that you've always espoused?
Well, it's still early a little bit, Phil, as you well know, and it takes a while to develop that chemistry on defense. I think it takes a little bit longer on defense sometimes than it does offense. So we're in that developmental stage. I thought, each night we're getting a little bit better, and we played a really good defensive game the other night against UCA, and shut it down on the road. So that's encouraging to be able to do that on the road. So I think we're developing, but I think we're fixing to play against maybe the best offensive team in the country, and so our defense may not look too good on Saturday.
Well, I know you've played a pretty tough non-conference schedule already, but Arkansas just presents a different kind of a challenge for even the best defensive teams in the country, and we saw that against Baylor. I mean, how I'm not asking you necessarily to give your secrets here, but is there any way to slow a team down like that when they're constantly looking to get out and run under every scenario?
Well, they play downhill so well. They get it in, whether it's a made basket or a miss, and they're going to run it. So, your defense has got to be in that transition mode the whole time. They don't ever let up on you. And, Mike has done a great job of instilling that. And, like you say, there's not a team in the country that can stop it right now the way they're shooting the ball. I mean, when you can play Baylor like that and score that many and you're playing against one of the best defensive teams in the country usually and be able to do that, that's pretty encouraging for Mike. I think he's put in a heck of a system up there, and he recruits the top players that he needs, and he's got him a top 20 program up there every year. He's done a great job.
Joe, your programs, the style of basketball couldn't be any different, and that's one of the fun things about this matchup. I mean, you have a team in Arkansas that's built on the fast break, free throws, and hitting a ton of 3-pointers. And your team gets to the free throw line quite a bit. I know Breamber Scott has kind of taken up residence at the foul line, but you don't shoot the three very often, and not really looking to get out on the fast break too often. You really work that half court motion offense to get as much the best shot you possibly can. So, I mean, these styles really are diametrically opposite.
Well, and I think that's the reason Mike likes to play this game, is it tests him before he gets into his conference, and he knows that we're going to be pretty solid on defense. Sherry Cole was the same way at Oklahoma there for a while. We played them because she said, I know you're going to be a sound defensive team, and we're going to have to work to get shots. And she even told me one year that, when we played in the NCAA, she had said that they'd played UConn and early in the year and played us, and she said that she thought we did a better job than UConn that year, and they were national champs. So that was a pleasure to hear, but I think that's the reason Mike's doing it too, is he knows we're going to be pretty solid, and he has to, he's going to have to earn baskets and to see what he needs to work on before he gets into conference. And, I commend him on that. He's played a great schedule. Mike's not that's what I like about Mike and Coach Blair, and they're all the same tree, and Vic, and, we're all kind of in there together. We've all been friends. We're not afraid to play and test our teams early, and that's respect that I think that we have for each other.
Coach Joe Foley joining us here on Halftime, the head coach of Little Rock Women Trojans basketball. Coach, you're 4-2 starting out the season. I want to jump ahead and look ahead in your schedule because it's a little bit different of a conference slate for you guys, where now you're starting to play double headers instead of trying to limit travel with COVID-19. How does that change for a game plan perspective? Because you start off conference play taking on UT Arlington at UT Arlington, but in back-to-back days.
Well, it's something I'm going to have to learn, and that's where when I come into this conference, we play on Thursdays and Saturdays, and or actually the women, we even played on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we played
Saturdays,
Wednesdays then.
so we had 2 days to prep, to get ready for that second team. And then we went to 1 day of prep, played on Thursday and Saturday, and now we're going with no day of prep. So I've had to learn these situations. So it's going to be a unique situation. It's going to take a little bit of the staying up late on Friday night trying to watch film and get ready. And Thursday night after the game, it's now. It's going to be one scouting report, and I guess you just walk in after the game and say, all right, do the same thing tomorrow. We're going to change this because we got beat. So it's going to be unique.
I know how he is about devouring film too, Matt. So I'm just going to tell you this: Joe Foley is not going to sleep the night after the first game.
Just pull the all-nighter right after that.
You got that right, and I think it's going to be a little bit like the NBA. You're going to see some funny things happening. If the team wins by 25 or 30 on Friday night, naturally your kids are going to say, okay, we got this, and unfortunately that game starts back over the next day 0-0. So you can end up getting beat, and that's what happens in the pros. You'll see a blowout one night, the next night the other team comes back and wins. So I think it's going to be a tough situation sometimes.
4-2 on the year. You guys have got pretty good victories right now over Memphis. You beat a good Vanderbilt team, 82-74. You're coming off a victory against UCA. It's 60-50, and obviously with playing Arkansas this weekend, how difficult is it to prep for a Mike Neighbors team, a team that they play basketball a little bit differently, that's very up-tempo, very much an up-and-down style of a game? How difficult is it to prepare for something like that you may not see a lot throughout the rest of the season?
Well, it's tough, and like you say, I wish we'd had a little bit more. We played, 4 games now in I think 9 days, and this will be our third one in like 6 days. So, we haven't got to do a lot of prep for the last 2 games. You come in after the game the next day, and you don't want to, kill them because you've been playing. The kid's been playing for 35, 40 minutes, and so you can't really do. So we had to, yesterday was more of a film session walkthrough, and then today was more of a try to, okay, here's how it goes. And naturally we can't duplicate the speed that he's putting on the floor right now and the shooters he's got. So, it's a little bit's going to have to be adapt to, during the game and try to get better as the game goes along and try to hopefully don't embarrass right off the bat. And, we can do some things and learn as the game goes and be better at the end of the game.
Joe, I take so much pride in both of the programs that are going to be on the court tomorrow because I was with you guys for 8 years. I saw you build that program from the ground up to what it's become, one of the top programs in the state, mid-majors. And I take a lot of pride in the accomplishments of Razorback women's basketball in these last few years too. I also love, this is my favorite coaching matchup because I've got relationships with the two of you guys. You guys are complete opposite sort of coaches. And the respect that the two of you have for each other and the way you try to grow the game of women's basketball in a state, by the way, that has a ton of women's basketball talent. I mean, it's more of a broad thing to say here, but it's a wonderful matchup. I want to ask you, all right, do you have a memory about Mike Neighbors that stands out, or like the first time you remember meeting him? Because I know he was at your coaching clinics and you guys have become good friends.
We have, and Mike is kind of a unique guy. The more I get to be around him and talk, and now that he's back in the state, the more I learn about him. And he used to come to Tech at my girls' camps there. He was up there, and he used to bring his team to our camps. And we had a great gathering there of coaches. We had the best teams in the state. I think one year in my camp, I think we had 4 of the state champions at that camp, and Betty Birds and all those people were there, and Mike was there, and you talk about some great times sitting around telling some stories and watching those guys. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast back there. We, like I say, it was the top coaches in the state, and it was just a great gathering. And Mike was always playing guitar and doing all that stuff, and he just kept things lively, and just great to be around. And then on the golf course, we've been on the, me and him and Coach Blair and Vic have been on the golf course several times. And actually this game came on the golf course. Me and Mike were out on Lotion playing, and he said, I'd like to play in Little Rock every year. And he said, I'd like to play. And I said, Mike, that's fine with me. I'd love to play. And he said, well, we're going to do it. So he's the one that brought this game around. And Phil, you mentioned, us building this program and taking pride in it, and you were great for us. You did great work for us, and I love you to death, man. And, we got to play some great teams and build a reputation here. And Mike has come in and got Arkansas going, and both of us just want to see the best women's basketball that we can do for Arkansas, and Coach Blair's the same way, and we all kind of learn that together. We need to help our state and get it to be the best basketball state in the country, and as you can see, Arkansas produces some great players now. Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right, Joe, and we'll see a bunch of them on the court tomorrow. Really appreciate your time. Good to visit with you again. Merry Christmas to you and Chris and the rest of the family and the coaches and everything. And I'm looking forward to seeing your team on the court tomorrow at the Stevens Center.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. It'll be great, and I'll be glad when we get this COVID stuff where we can get a crowd back up in the stands like we had last year.
Oh, you got it, man. They would have said the Stevens Center would be jam-packed, man.
Oh, it definitely would be.
You'd have 6 to 7,000.
It would be. And, we got to UConn coming in here next year. If we could have had Arkansas packed house this year in UConn, that does a lot for our program, too. And, I appreciate the heck out of Mike and Arkansas doing this.
Joe, thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Joe Foley, Little Rock women's basketball head coach. And you think about some of the programs that he's had come into Little Rock to play at the Stevens Center.
I forgot about
Baylor,
I forgot about
A&M,
that, yeah.
Mississippi State, UConn coming. Now Arkansas.
I had forgotten about UConn was coming. That's incredible. That's a big get for that. Hey, make sure you head over to Buffalo Wild Wings. You got a great opportunity to get over there this weekend, watch some great football games. They've got the Big Ten Championship, SEC Championship, everything that you need to do at Buffalo Wild Wings. It happens this weekend. Head over there today. They've got great wing sauce choices for you guys over there at Buffalo Wild Wings. Orange sauce, lemon pepper pizza sauce, Carolina Reaper, you name it, B-Dubs has it for you. You can find lots of locations across Arkansas, including Little Rock, Fort Smith, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and in Conway, and that's only at Buffalo Wild Wings. We just brought gifts brought in here to us.
I think Ty brought us a bunch of bottles filled with some liquid of some sort.
I got a good...
Is it going to be a White Claw Christmas?
Oh, you got to go to break on that.